Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Priscilla Obasi. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in detail. The International Human Rights Commission, Nigeria, has thrown its weight behind the renewed push by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, for a comprehensive reform of the contributory pension scheme as it affects retired officers of the Nigerian police force. This is contained in a diplomatic memo addressed to President Bola Tinubu in a statement signed by IHRC's Head of Media and Strategic Communications, Fidelis Onapoma. The Commission said the current pension arrangement for police personnel amounts to a constitutional breach and urged the President to take urgent corrective action. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, says the administration of President Bola Tinubu has remained firm in surmounting the inherited, intractable security challenges. Ribadu stated this at the 50th anniversary celebration of the Nigerian Defense Academy 18 regular course held in Abuja. He delivered a lecture titled Veterans as Significant National Assets. He said the Nigeria has stood at a dangerous crossroads in 2022, grappling with multiple crises that threatened its unity, stability and future. He added that notorious warlords such as Ali Kachala, Halil Sububu and Dogo Buhari had been neutralized, adding that more than 50 criminals, leaders and dozens of deputies had been taken out of circulation. The federal government has negotiated the cost of Ido Bridge rehabilitation from an initial 27 billion naira to 17 billion naira. The Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, made this known to journalists during an inspection of the bridge in Lagos. Umahi commended Julius Berger Nigeria PLC for demonstrating a sense of cooperation under its new leadership, while describing the company as a born-again beggar, attributing the breakthrough in negotiation to the understanding and openness of its new managing director. The minister reiterated the government's committed to prudent spending, insisting that all track contractors must align with the ministry standards and directives. Minister of Power, Bayo Adelabu, met with all Progressive Congress leaders and stakeholders in Ogbomosho and Oyo zones in Oyo State, respectively. Addressing party members in Ogbomosho at the residence of one of the leaders of the party, Ayoade Adeseun, the minister said the meeting was part of his consultations across geopolitical zones in the state towards realization of his governorship ambition in 2027. He therefore allayed the fear of the party stakeholders that APC will not impose any aspirant in 2027, saying, "I am up to the task. I will show them what I can withstand and survive competition and come out victorious." While seeking their support towards the realization of his ambition, Adelabu pleaded for forgiveness from aggrieved members, saying they should be concerned of how the party will come back to power in 2027. Former Jigawa State Governor and chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has expressed willingness to support Peter Obi in 2027 presidential election, should he emerge as the standard bearer of the coalition. This is just as the Middle Belt Forum said may have no choice than stick with Peter Obi, noting that president candidate of the Labour Party is the 2023 election has the track record of keeping to promise. Lamido, who responded to a question as to whether he would support Obi, who also has offered to spend a single term of 4 years if he wins in 2027 president election, said the coalition produces Peter Obi or anyone else committed to rescuing Nigeria, he will support them. But I remain with PDP, noting that politicians should have outgrown tribal and regional sentiments. The Zamfara State Chairman of the Africa Democratic Congress, Kabiru Garba, has invited the state governor, Dauda Lawal, to leave the People's Democratic Party for his party. Addressing a press conference in Gusau, the state capital, Garba said no fewer than 100 political actors from different political parties in the state had so far joined the ADC. Garba attributed the resolution of some political figures in the state to join the party to the sterling leadership qualities demonstrated by ADC leaders through justice, fairness and equal opportunity to all members. Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has approved the appointment of Professor Mustar Amor as permanent Vice-Chancellor of the newly established Benue State University of Agriculture, Science and Technology, IGU. The appointment was announced in a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Terso Kula. Kula said that Alia also approved the appointment of 8 others to serve in various capacities. The Nigeria Labour Congress has declared its opposition to any move by the National Assembly to transfer labour issues, including the matter of the minimum wage, from the exclusive legislative list of the federal government to the concurrent list. Such a change would empower individual states to set their own workers' wages. NLC President Joe Ajero issued this warning during the National Administrative Council meeting of the Central Working Committee, which took place in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Describing the move as an exercise in futility, Ajero urged and argued that the issue of minimum wage is treated globally as a national matter in line with the International Labour Organization conventions, which regards member countries as entities, not subnational units such as states. Moving on, women in Igan community located in the North Bank area of Makurdi, the Benue State capital, blocked the Makurdi-Lafia highway early Saturday morning in protest against growing insecurity and what they described as indiscriminate arrest by a security operative. The protesters alleged that they had continued to live in fear of attacks by armed invaders after last month's attack on the community and surrounding environments. It was learned that their fear wasn't only from potential armed invasions, but the women are also worried over what they call a disturbing pattern of arrest by security forces. You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Burkina Faso bans suspends Foreign NGOs Association. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now we go to the business news. Bureau de Change BDC operators under the aegis of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, ABCON, have hinted at the possibilities of mergers, acquisitions and takeovers by their members to meet the new capital requirement set by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The licensed currency traders pointed out that these are some of the options they are working on, harping on the need for the Apex Bank to strategize with its members across the country to achieve the objective. The apprehension and anxiety in the sector have persisted as the fate of most of these licensed BDC operators hangs in the air unless the recapitalization deadline, which had expired, is further extended. Moving on, Rwanda's High Commission to Nigeria, Christopher Bazavivamo, says his country is poised to strengthen bilateral relations with Nigeria through trade, aviation, and information and communication technology (ICT). Bazivamo made this known in Abuja during the 31st anniversary of Rwanda's Liberation Day, also known as Kibuhara, with the theme "The Journey Continues," commemorates the end of the 100-day 1994 Rwanda genocide, during which about 1 million people died. Bazavamo emphasized the strengthening of trade collaborations between Rwanda and Nigeria was a catalyst for bolstering their bilateral relations, economic growth, and development. Bazivamo also disclosed that Rwanda would soon establish a double taxation avoidance agreement with Nigeria to scale up investment ventures between the two countries. BRICS leaders meeting in Rio de Janeiro from Sunday are expected to decry Donald Trump's headline trade policies, but are struggling to bridge divides over crisis ruling the Middle East. Emerging nations representing about half the world's population and 40% of global economic output are set to unite over what they see as unfair U.S. import tariff, according to sources with summit negotiations. Since coming to office in January, Trump has threatened allies and rivals alike with a slew of punitive tariffs. His latest salvo comes in the form of a letter due to be sent starting Friday, informing trading partners of new tariff rates expected next week on July 9. The Nigeria Railway Corporation, NRC, has announced plans to resume train services along the Kano-Minna corridor before the end of 2025 as part of efforts to revitalize rail transport and boost economic activity across northern Nigeria. NRC Managing Director Dr. Kayode Opeifa made this known during an official visit to the corporation's Northern District office in Zaria. Opeifa stated that the corporation will reactivate key equipment in the region using allocations from the 2025 capital expenditure. Across the country, rural communities are becoming increasingly concerned about late and unpredictable rain patterns being experienced in some of the country, which are already impacting farming activities this wet season. The 2025 Seasonal Climate Prediction, SCP, made public by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, in Abuja, had warned farmers and relevant stakeholders to be prepared. NIMET had earlier indicated that the start of the rainy season was expected to be delayed in northern states like Plateau and parts of Kaduna, Niger, Benue, Nasarawa, Taraba, Adamawa, and Kwara. In comparison to the long-term average, the rainy season is predicted to end earlier in parts of Zamfara, Katsina, Kano, Kaduna, Jigawa, Plateau, Bauchi, Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Taraba, Niger, Kwara, Kogi, the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Ekiti, and Ondo states. Now go to the foreign scene. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to participate in the 17th Summit of Heads of State and Government for the Global South and Emerging Economic Bloc. The bloc includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, also called BRICS. The president's flight touched down at the Galileo Air Force Base tarmac at 8:45 p.m. local time on Friday, where the Galileo Air Force Base commander coordinated the Guard of Honor. Tinubu's Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, revealed this in a statement. Brazil's Deputy Minister of Africa and Middle East, Carlos Sergio Sobral Deuter, and the Deputy Minister for Trade Promotion, Science, Technology, Innovation and Culture received President Tinubu. The Russian military in the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia has been captured by the Ukrainian forces. Oluwabami Kele was apprehended by the Freedom of Russia region, a unit composed by Russian fighters supporting Ukraine according to the Ukraine's I Want to Leave project. The 29-year-old was captured in Zaporizhzhia region after serving with Russian forces for 5 months. Oluwabami Leke had been living in Russia for 4 years before his arrest on drug-related charges, the project said. He was said to have agreed to join Russia's military campaign in exchange for a reduced sentence instead of serving a prison sentence under Article 228 of the Russian Criminal Code. And in sports, President Different and Police Officers' Wives Association Ogogo Musa has urged wives of military and police personnel to remain active and avoid stress to stay healthy. Musa made the call during the Depot monthly aerobics for health in Abuja. She said the women must continue to undertake any physical activity that will help them to be active and keep them away from stress and other diseases. Our sports correspondent Samuel Odi has details.
The sun rose early over the capital as members of Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association gathered for their monthly Walk for Health, an initiative that combines physical fitness and community bonding.
Exercise is very important to each and every one of us, and I want to appreciate Momiji Power for organizing this. And most of the women will come together. Apart from doing the exercise, coming together is another aspect I want us to appreciate, coming together as one family.
Clad in coordinated athletic wear and armed with enthusiasm, the women walked several kilometers through designated routes accompanied by music, cheers and mutual encouragements.
When we come together like this to foster relationships, so I believe men should allow their women to come out, because a healthy wife is a wealthy life.
At the forefront was the POA President Ogoha Musa, whose leadership has revitalized the walk into signature monthly event for the association. The POA President Musa says the exercise is a vibrant initiative in promoting fitness, mental wellness among members.
You are meant to eat food, and so that's why we have been consistent, so that it is part of you. As you eat, you should know that you exercise, because if you don't do that, that means you are not balanced. It must go hand in hand, and because we've not been doing it, a lot of people don't know that. That's why the advocacy is becoming stronger, so that they know that it's part of life.
The walk concluded with aerobics, a cool-down exercise, light refreshment and words of encouragement from the President and other DPOA officials. Plans are already on the way for next month's edition, with calls for greater participation. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
Family, friends and Liverpool teammates gathered on Friday in Portugal to pay their last respects to Diogo Jota and his younger brother Andre Silva, who died in a car crash on Thursday. Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk and Andy Robertson arrived at the funeral of Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. The coffins of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre are carried through the streets of Gordoma during a joint funeral procession. And that is it on Global TV News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using the handle @GlobalTVNG. You can also download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Priscilla Obasi. Thank you for watching.